So this is once again Gurpal Singh from Gursur Education. Thank you so much for joining me in this video lecture. And this video is going to be extremely important, I must tell you, because the topic regarding pricing decisions are going to be covered in this video lecture. In this video lecture, I shall teach you completely what are the different types of pricing decision. And I must tell you, this topic is not important just from the point of view of managerial or business economics, but once you go through from the concepts regarding marketing management as well, there also the pricing decisions play a vital role, and these have to be covered at that time as well. So if we are covering all the types of pricing decisions by the firms, then we can easily cover this huge topic. And I must tell you, there a number of time it has been experienced that the questions from the pricing decisions have been asked in the examination. So I hope you would have gone through all the previous lectures regarding business economics. So only then watching this video lecture is suggested to you. So if you have not gone through, so first of all, we request you all to go through from these. The structure of this particular video lecture is going to be as, first of all, we shall answer you what are the pricing decisions and what are its importance. And after that, the most important topics, we shall be explaining more than 25 types of pricing decisions and the types of how the pricing are decided for new or the existing products. So I hope it would be very interesting for you and you would be enjoying this video lecture. So I'm just going to share the screen with you and going to show you what is there for you. I'm going to teach you. You just have to be very careful regarding what I see anytime. All right, just enjoy this video lecture. I'm sharing the screen. All right, thank you so much. So I hope you would be watching this video right now and you will have understood the structure of this video lecture, that is going to be regarding pricing strategies, in which I am going to teach you about each and every pricing strategy which is important from exam's point of view. So this is going to be almost last lecture regarding our continuous video lecture series that was related to business economics or managerial economics. So about this, we have already delivered so many lectures, as I have already given you information in the beginning of this video lecture. So now just going to tell you what are the different kinds of pricing structures a company can follow so that it can make the huge profits, because the purpose of each and every firm is to earn maximum only on, okay, earn maximum. And the price is charged on the basis of selling the products by the company is known as the pricing structure. Okay, so this is the prices, which is also known as average revenue. We have gone through from number of economical concepts which contains the application of a pricing or average revenue in itself. So each and every company decide their pricing on a predetermined criteria. Okay, so in this video lecture, I am going to tell you how prices are decided. Okay, so on what basis the prices are decided? So by going through the classification of or the types of prices being charged from the consumer, you can easily get to know the answer of this question. Okay, so basically we are going to talk about each and every single type. Now just going further and going to tell you what do we mean by pricing strategy. So pricing strategy refers to producer's plan or art or discretion of price fixation or price variation in a manner such that he may successfully each stipulated target to profit maximization and sales maximization. So it is all about that. When we talk about pricing and pricing strategy, we basically do mean that this is a plan for price fixation for the selling of a product, so that the profit maximization and sales maximization is extended. So it is all about that. Pricing simply means to price a product, and pricing strategy means producers plan to decide the price or fix the price. So it is that. So there are so many methods of evaluation of prices of new products. Okay, one by one we shall be going through from all these. I think more than 20 types are there for prices which are currently being charged in the market. So one by one we are going through all of these. The first one is full cost or cost plus pricing. How this is decided? Okay, so when you have got to know that for producing a specific product you have to bear the cost of 100 rupee. This is known as your CP or cost price. Okay, in this cost price you make some kind of addition which is known as markup. That can be on any basis. That can be on a basis of the proportion of profit to be added on the basis of a cost price. Suppose you add 10% in this price. Okay, so if you added 10% of a cost price, that shall be 10 rupee. Then 110 be the prices to be charged from the consumer for selling your product. This is known as cost plus pricing or markup pricing structure. Once this was asked in the examination. Okay, so these are the other name of markup pricing and average cost pricing. Under markup pricing, the price is determined as P is equal to ATC plus M multiplied by ATC. So P is price, T, ATC is average total cost, and M is the proportion of a profit to be added. So it is all about that. So cost plus pricing means addition of a certain percentage to cost as profits to the cost of a production to arrive at a price. So it is the structure which I have given you information about. If the total cost you have to bear to produce a product is 200 rupee, then if you add the specific percentages, suppose this is 10% to this price, then that will be 20 rupee, and the total price to be charged shall be 220 rupee. So this is the first case or first type of pricing. The second one is marginal cost pricing. When you don't care about the average total cost, when you take into consideration only variable cost for arriving at the pricing policy, this is known as marginal cost pricing. Okay, for in this case what happens, this is also known as variable cost pricing. First of all, under marginal cost pricing or variable cost pricing, the fixed costs are ignored and prices are determined on the basis of marginal or variable cost only. And again, there can be some addition of a percentage, specific percentage. So the fluctuation in variable prices account for fluctuation of the prices of products. So the marginal cost pricing nowadays, this is a famous pricing strategy in case of a public utility goods and services. Once this question was also asked in the examination. So that was the second system of charging the prices from the consumers. The third one is rate of return pricing. This is the third level. When suppose you have made an investment of around 1 lakh rupee in your business and you wish to get a specific return, suppose 10%, you need 10,000 as profit to be earned by selling 1,000 units. Okay, so you have produced 1,000 unit and this is your initial investment and this is the rate of return you wish your investment to have. So that shall be profit. Okay, that profit can be generated only if the per unit cost shall be 10 rupee. Okay, how I have arrived at profits multiplied by number of units to be sold. This is known as the rate of return pricing. So when the firm expects to earn a planned or target rate of return on its investment, it fixes a certain price to achieve the output. So this is how the rate of return pricing works. So for attaining a specific rate of return or profit, you just add the prices to your products. So this was the third category of a pricing strategy. The fourth one is going rate pricing. Okay, so this is going rate pricing. What happens there? This was also asked once in the examination. I must tell you, this chapter is very important. And this chapter is covered in two subjects. In marketing as well, you have to study this again. So going rate pricing means where the firm simply examines the general pricing structure in the industry. So whenever a firm enters newly into the market, it just see the structure of the industry, and after examining that, it get to know at how much prices their products can be sold. So just whatever the going general prices are there in the industry, they fixes or adjust the prices of their own product accordingly. So it is adopted when price leadership is well established, and basically it happens in case of oligopoly structure, which have we already discussed previously. So that was the fourth case of pricing strategy. The fifth one is customary prices. When the product is so much old, like for 50 or 60 years, it's prevailing in the market, and now none kind of need is there to change its features, and its prices are already fixed. Okay, and their prices have become very customary now. Okay, and everyone knows that at this price, this particular product is being offered in the market, and you cannot change their prices. These prices are known as customary prices. Okay, so these means a situation where the prices of certain goods become more or less fixed, not by deliberate action on part of a seller, but as a result of their having prevailed for a considerable period of time. So when there has been a considerable period of time to a specific product, that their prices becomes ultimately very customary. So that was the fifth kind of pricing strategy I'm discussing with you. The next one is a sixth pricing strategy. This is a sealed bid pricing. This happens in case of a tender system. You would have experienced, if you go through from newspapers on daily basis, that there have been some tenders open in different government organization quotations. So in this system, what happens? Sealed bid pricing is used. Under sealed bid pricing, prospective buyers or sellers are asked to quote their prices through a sealed cover. So they just quote the prices at which they shall offer their services to the government or any institution. And when this is the case, all the offers are opened at pre-announced time of a day in presence of all the bidders. Okay, and then this sealed bid system, or that letter is opened. Then if this is favorable to the allottee, then what happens? Then this is accepted, then their bids is accepted. Suppose I'm just giving you a very simple example. So certainly there would be a canteen in your university or in your college. Okay, they would be working on a contract basis. Certainly contract would be for 1 year or 2 year, or it can be for any period as per the terms of the contract. How they people are hired? First of all, the university or your college gives opens a tender. Okay, or this tender is filled by so many contractors, and they gives the prices at which they are willing to run their canteen in the university or the college campuses. So whoever's bid is beneficial to the university or the college, then this bid is accepted. This is known as a sealed bid pricing system, and this was the sixth pricing structure we have discussed right now. The seventh is product tailoring. Pricing through product tailoring. This is also known as a tailored price. Tailored price. What happens in that? First of all, the prices are determined, and after that, the production is started, and the production cost is adjusted on the basis of a predetermined price of the product. Suppose we have already decided that we have to sell our prices at 100 rupee. That means you have to produce your product lower than 100 rupee. Like you have to produce at 85 or 90 rupee, only then you shall be able to earn a 10% or 15% return at your investment. So product tailoring refers to a policy or tailoring the cost of a product to a predetermined price. So prices are predetermined, and the cost of a production is adjusted on the basis of that predetermined price. So that was the 7th strategy. The 8th one is a refusal pricing system. Okay, what happens there when you make the product on the basis of specifications given by a single buyer, okay, a single buyer, then that kind of pricing charged is known as refusal pricing. And where it happens in case of tailoring businesses, okay, in case of tailoring businesses, sometimes you wish that there should be additional pockets in your kurtas or your uh, or you can say your shirts or pants, okay, it should have a specific design, okay, it should have some specific cuts from different things. So on the basis of a single buyer's specification, the product is made, and whatever is charged on the basis of that product, that is known as refusal pricing. So refusal pricing refers to pricing of a product that are designed to specification of a single buyer or to suit specific needs of buyers. So this is known as refusal pricing. The next one is a transfer pricing that you have understood so many times in accounting as well. Okay, so when there are number of departments in an organization, this is department A, this is B, this is C. The production process goes like the raw material has to be transferred to and the A department, then it processes the raw material, and after that it transfers the raw material to department B. So it also receives that raw material, it also processes that, and ultimately it again transferred to department C, which again processes the raw material. So at the price on which the one department transfers the product to the another department, this price is known as a transfer pricing. Okay, so transfer pricing means pricing of intermediate products as they are transferred to next stage of production. This is known as a transfer pricing system. So the next one is going to product line pricing. Okay, product line pricing. So what happens here? When you have so many products in your product line, which we have already understood in concept of marketing. Okay, when you have so many products in your product line and you adopt the similar kind of pricing policy for all the products under the product line, then this is known as product line pricing. So what happens? Multiple product pricing is another way of a product line pricing. Product line pricing is a situation when company having different products in its product line prices, it prices all the products on similar basis using the same pricing strategy for all. When you adopt the same pricing strategy for all the products covered under your product line, then this is known as product line pricing. The next one is pricing of new product. When the new products are entered into the market, then there are two kind of basic pricing policy. The first one is known as penetration pricing. The second one is known as skimming pricing. Okay, so what is penetration pricing? So first of all, when you are not sure about your new product, then you price it at relatively at low cost. Okay, you decide the lower level prices so that you can gain the maximum share of the market, and this is known as a penetration pricing. Just to enter into the market, you lower the prices of your product. This is known as penetration pricing. But in case of skimming prices, when you are sure that you have created extreme kind of goodwill so that your profits are gonna rise and rise, so in that case what you do, you just make the policy of higher pricing for your products so that you can skim the cream of the market, so that you can earn more and more in short run. This is known as a skimming pricing policy. Why this is known as skimming? Because that means skim the cream of the market. You just earn more and more by charging higher amount only on the basis of goodwill you have already created into the market. This is skimming pricing policy. Then this is loss leader pricing. Okay, loss leader pricing. It is also known as loss leader tactics and loss leader products. So what happens? This was also once asked in the examination. What happens? There is a firm is having so many products. Okay, so there is product A, there is product B. So it lowers the prices of product A so that consumers can be attracted to some other products offered by the company which are having the high prices, so that they can cover the losses faced by these by lowering the prices of A. Okay, so they can cover the losses which the company has suffered by lowering the prices of product A. So this is how the loss leader pricing or a tactics works. So this is an item which produces a less than customary contribution or a negative contribution to overhead, but which is expected to create profits on increased sale of other items. So this is how things are done. Okay, so what you have to understand, now this is the next kind of a pricing policy, and this is known as a cyclical pricing. This is known as a cyclical pricing. What happens here? Here the prices are charged on the basis of cycles. Okay, so how these are charged? So when there is the period of a boom, then the high prices are charged. When there is the situation of depression in the market, then lower prices are charged. Okay, so lower and higher prices charged just on the basis of cycle, the product life cycle. So this refers to pricing by a firm depending on assessment of a general economic environment, that is boom or a depression into the market. So the next kind of a pricing is known as a peak load pricing. What happens here? When there is the high demand period of some products, in that period the prices are charged at a high level. But when there is a low demand period for products, then the lower prices are charged for the same product. Okay, so you can take the example of electricity. So this is a system in which the pricing is done on the basis of demand, usage, and time of products. Peak load pricing suggests prices should be set at higher level for peak periods, and these should be lowered on off peak period. So when the period is the demand or the usage is high at the peak level periods, that then the higher prices should be charged. But in case of off peak period, when the demand or the usage of the product is lower, then the lower prices should be charged. So this is known as peak load pricing. Then the next one is actual pricing. Actual pricing. What is this? This is simply a synonym with the phrase what the traffic can bear. You just charge what the buyers can pay maximum. Okay, here sellers try to charge maximum prices according to situation. He tries to charge on the way wherever he feels that the buyer can pay the prices. Under actual pricing system, if demand is inelastic, higher rates are charged. Then if this is elastic, then lower prices are charged. So just on the basis of what the traffic can bear, the price, these prices are charged in the market. So this is going to be the next. This is known as administered prices. What's the meaning of administered prices? Which are fixed by, which are statutory, the prices which are statutorily fixed by government, taking into account the cost and stipulated profit per unit. So which are fixed by the government. So these are known as administered prices. Okay, administered prices are those prices of the products which are statutorily fixed by the government. So these are administered prices, like prices of some crops. Okay, then there is a minimum support price. So this is known as MSP. So for some product, there is minimum support price. So this is the price below which the products is not going to be sold in the market. And if the prices falls below than it, then the government shall purchase from the farmers. So under this scheme, the government assures that prices will not be allowed to fall below the minimum support price, and in case the producer do not get buyer for the product at the support price, the government is prepared to procure the supply. So this happens in case of a minimum support price system scheme. So the next one is a dual pricing, in which some part is determined or fixed by the government in the pricing, and the next part is decided by the market forces like demand and supply. So where these cut, the prices are decided. So if the prices of a product is 100 rupee and this has followed the policy of dual pricing, that means some of its part like 50 rupee to 60 rupee, that should have been fixed by the government, and rest of the part is decided by the market forces. This is known as dual pricing policy. The next one is a geographical pricing system. What happens here? Under geographical price, differential prices are prices discrimination is practiced by seller on basis of buyer's location. So if the seller is sitting in Delhi, suppose he has customer in Andhra Pradesh and in Gujarat. So these are both two states, okay, two different states. So if the seller is charging on the basis of a buyer's location, like from Andhra Pradesh, he is charging different prices. But for the customers from Gujarat, he is charging different prices. This is known as a geographical pricing system. And this is further categorized into many systems. Okay, many categories can be made for geographical pricing system. The first can be postage stamp pricing. Okay, so what happens here? This means charging uniform prices of products for all destinations irrespective of a buyer's location. Okay, so postage stamp pricing simply means for all the destination, the sellers are charging similar or uniform kind of prices irrespective of buyer's location. So this is known as postage stamp pricing. And the second is a zone pricing. What happens here? The producer divides all the areas into different zones. Okay, like south zone, east zone, west zone, or north zone. So in these zones, different kind of pricing policies are administered. So producers, instead of charging uniform prices, they make different zones, and they divided the country into several zones, and price in each zone is different, and this is known as zonal pricing or zone pricing system. That can also be taken to be the classification under a geographical pricing system. Then there is a base point system. Okay, this is also under the geographic pricing system. A major production center known as base point is created for particular, this is chosen for pricing, okay, which consists of a factory price and a transportation price. In this case, zones are further subdivided into sub zones. Okay, like I have already given you example: east zone, south zone, then east zone, then a north zone. Okay, so these are the different zones, and these are further divided into sub zones. Okay, so in all the zones there is a separate base point or a factory established, and on the basis of that, in that sub zones, the pricing policies are administered. This is known as a base point pricing system. So it consists of a factory price and a transportation price as well. The next one is freight equalization pricing. This is also covered under the geographic pricing system. This is freight equalization pricing. This means a system under which sellers charges the buyer freight cost. Okay, so in this case, what happens? The product are priced in the way that the freight cost is also covered from the buyer. Okay, So when the freight cost is also covered from the buyer, and only after covering the freight cost, the product is sold. This situation is known as freight equalization pricing. So this was the next one. This is free on board or FOB system of pricing. What happens here? All the expenses like transportation expenses, handling charges, and any loss of goods in transit, everything is the responsibility of a buyer only. Okay, so the pricing in which the system in which the buyer have to pay all the transportation cost, all the handling cost, and they are responsible for any loss of goods during the transport or transit. This system is known as free on board or FOB system of pricing. The next one is stay out pricing. Okay, stay out pricing. What happens here? First of all, when you are not sure about your product in the market, you start at a very high price. Okay, when you feel that at high price there is the very small demand, then you lower the price. Then again, if you feel that you must have more demand, you again lower the price. You lower the price till the time when your targeted sales amounts are raised. So when a firm is not certain about the price at which product is to be sold, it starts with a very high price. If at this price quotation it is not possible to sell, then it lowers the price of its product. It will keep on lowering the price till it is possible to sell the targeted amount of the product. Just for targeted amount of sales, whatever the prices are charged, they are known as a stay out pricing system. The next one is a psychological pricing. This is also known as odd pricing and a very famous system nowadays prevailed. You would have heard that some courses are being offered at 499, like 999, like 1499 or 1999. This is known as odd pricing or psychological pricing, so that the consumer feel that they are offering at a very lower cost. So this is known as for just giving the impression of being low, this kind of psychological pricing is done. The next is under limit pricing. Okay, what happens here? A firm may also try to establish such a price which reduce or eliminate the threat of entry or new firms into the market. Okay, so whenever you have enjoyed the so much economies of scales, in that case you can lower the cost of your product in the way that the new firms cannot enter into the market, and this is known as under limit pricing. So when you just eliminate the entry of the new firm on the basis of a pricing structure of your product, this pricing structure is known as under limit pricing. So I think there were so much to learn in this video lecture. I have taught you information regarding so many pricing strategies. Okay, we have done I think more than 20 to 25 pricing strategy. All you have to go through, and I must tell you, you are not going to get that much detailed information from anywhere. And this specific topic is relevant not from the point of view of only business economics, but from the point of view of marketing as well. So you have to understand and cover all these pricing strategies in details. So regarding the next lecture, we shall be intimating you soon. I hope you would have enjoyed this lecture a lot. Thank you so much. This was Gurpal Singh from Gurpal Education.